Hi everyone, Trout Lowen here with your monthly housing market update for the Twin Cities for March 2024. During the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about what's happening with home prices, market supply, market times, interest rates, and all other things real estate related. So new listings are going to be the bright spot in this month's update. We are finally seeing more homes come on the market after the great drought of 2023. Will that trend continue? Time will tell. So before I get into the numbers though, I just want to make a quick announcement. I pull my data from the North Star Multiple Listing Service database. I'm looking at trends in the 7-county Twin Cities metro for the month of February. Now, if you have specific questions about buying or selling a home in a particular community or neighborhood, feel free to reach out to me for a more customized market analysis. All right, let's get started. As I mentioned, new listings are the bright spot this month. The number of new homes hitting the market in February grew by about 550. That is a 16% jump month over month. And compared with last February, that was close to 35% more new homes than last year. 35%. We really like to see that. I think the warm weather has been a big factor in the increase in new home listings. Last year, the spring housing market started in March. This year, it seems to have taken off right away in January. And of course, much of January felt a lot more like March. We also saw a little dip in the home mortgage interest rates in December and in January, and that probably had an impact as well. I certainly saw buyers out in droves in January and February. I showed one listing in South Minneapolis that went on the market on a Friday, and by 1 p.m. Saturday, when my buyer saw it, they already had 6 offers. And by the offer deadline at 5 p.m. on the same day, they had 24 offers. Now that's not a typical experience at this time of year. It was a smaller home, nicely updated, and priced under $300,000. I do think that shows that the spring market has gotten off to an early start. I think it also shows just how limited the supply of homes for sale is in the lower price points. Speaking of supply, even with the growing number of new listings, we're not seeing much change in the overall number of homes for sale. The total number of homes listed for sale rose just a tiny bit in February compared to January. But realistically, that number has been kind of holding steady since December. What is notable here is that the total number of homes listed for sale in February was 16% higher than it was at the same time last year. And it was up by 25% if we're just looking at pre-owned homes. In fact, the number of new construction homes listed for sale in February actually went down a little bit. Considering how squeaky tight the housing market's been, any increase in the supply of homes is good news for anybody planning to buy a home this year. And if you're planning to sell your home this year, you really don't have to worry. We are still in a very strong seller's market. So actually in February, the month supply, which is one way to determine the strength of the market, the month supply was at 1.7 months. That's up from 1.3 months in February last year. But it's still well below that 4 to 6 month supply that the industry considers a balanced market. All right, let's talk about home prices. After flatlining for 5 months, home prices have finally edged up slightly in February. The median sale price rose to $72,000 in the metro, and that's just a couple of $1,000s higher than the previous month. But that's the first increase we've seen in median sale price since September of last year. The average sale price also ticked up just a little bit to $445,000. So, just to clarify, the average sale price is the average price of all homes sold in the previous 12 months. The median sale price is the midpoint. Half of the homes sold above that price and half of the homes sold below. So on average, sellers were getting between 97 and 98% of their asking price in February, and that's pretty typical for a February market. It was taking about 37 days to sell a home in February, which is a little bit faster than it was last year and pretty normal for this time of year if you take out those crazy pandemic years. So back in 2015, the average number of days on market was 86. And that is when we had something close to a balanced housing market with a relatively even number of buyers and sellers. All right, let's take a quick look at those interest rates, which seemed like they were going to come down quite a bit at the beginning of this year, and they just haven't. They've been hanging around that 7% range for a 30-year fixed mortgage. And until the Federal Reserve Board decides we've conquered inflation and lowers the rate, it's probably where they're going to stay. As of this week, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is still being pretty cagey about when that might happen. All right, so just a quick recap of the high points. The number of new homes listings has been rising since the beginning of the year, and in February it was about 30% higher than it was at the same time last year. Now, that may be a benefit of our early spring. Time will tell. The total number of homes on the market, however, isn't increasing nearly as quickly, and that's a reflection of the low inventory problem we've been experiencing for quite some time now. More homes are coming onto the market, but they're being snapped up quickly, so the total number of homes for sale just doesn't really grow. Buyers were out in larger numbers in February. Again, temperatures were abnormally high, interest rates had dipped a bit, so this could just be indicative of an accelerated spring market. All right, that's what I've got for you this month. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next month.